Hello everyone. Welcome to your Equinox guidance for the now moment, September 22nd, 2014. I come to you with a crystal oracle, and how we're going to do this today is I'm simply going to use one of my favorite pieces of crystal jewelry, and you as the person receiving is going to pick out one or all the colors that you are most attracted to. Now, I won't tell you what the names of the stones are because I'll go through that as we go through the individual stones, but there is your rainbow. And if those of you are not familiar with the chakras, a chakra is an energy center. It literally means energy wheel. And they are centered on the root, sacral, solar, heart, throat, third eye, and crown. Now this is the seventh chakra system in the sense that it is the one that is only activating the physical healing. And so this is a reading that's going to address our life in the physical. Now, first things first, those of you who are attracted to red. Red is the root chakra. This is the stone called garnet. Feeling very strongly that those who are still attracted to red are still dealing with the fundamental mastering of fear. What that means is that you either have are still struggling with trying to shore up your abundance and make stable your life. That could be that you are in a transition in terms of employment. It could be that you are having to shift your attitudes about how you get money in terms of not relying on an outside employment to help you and coming up with new ideas and new ways of doing that. It could mean a change of career for some people, but in general, it applies to the idea that we need to trust that we are going to be provided for in order to feel safe enough to take risks and let go of the control that keeps us in fear. So the dynamic needs to be broken. The idea that if I can't do this, then I can't do that, and then all these things are prevented. That is the line of thinking that keeps us disempowered. Understand that everything in your experience is happening for you. Even the stuff that you perceive as bad, as stressful, they're things that you have agreed to. They're things that on the soul level you need to experience in order to free yourself from illusion. Okay? So there's a strong theme right now of things still falling away, and the new things haven't yet shown themselves. And so those of you who are still thrashing, and if you've watched my previous video, I did explain about this feeling of being on a river and you're just struggling to kind of see where you are, and because you're thrashing against the flow, you can't actually relax and let go and direct yourself. This is true of everyone who is still attracted to these three. Okay, so moving through the lower emotions means self-mastery. Those of you who are particularly attracted to orange, the guidance here is release, let go, feel your emotions, and then release again. Release the control, release the need to direct. And the reason for that is that with the divine feminine energy coming through, the masculine is having to learn that there is a goddess that is equal to the God. And if you've been following the news as well, or even a little bit of what's going on online, there's this theme, again, equality and freedom. The gender roles are getting challenged. Our societal obsessions are being challenged. And it is important to acknowledge that within yourself and without, you are expressing the fundamental assumptions that you still hold. And so the only way to heal those things that are holding you back is to bring awareness to them. Move that forward. And here I'm feeling like journaling, like singing and other forms of expression are going to be very, very helpful for those who are still in the throes of shoring up their relationships and setting boundaries and just, getting comfortable with the changes that are going on. Those of you with the solar plexus are attracted to yellow. Very active upswing in energy. I felt that many of you are finally feeling like, all right, things are going my way, things are moving forward, we can go to the next step, and you feel like you see it where you're going. Now, the important thing here is to make sure that your foundation, that what you are leaving, is completed. Because if it's not, and you reach up and you actually achieve that in that other level that you're seeking, you won't be able to maintain it unless you've done the work of the previous level. So embrace the clarity, but curb the enthusiasm so that you can actually complete your task before moving on to your next level. Think of it as knowing your graduation date but still having 9 months of work left. You know where you're going next. You're pregnant with the next step. Let's put it that way. So give yourself that 9 months to close up the rest of your life, to finish what you got to finish in order to be absolutely free. I mean, like the freest you've ever been, as much as you can. Now, it seems unusual, but it's critical for us to, at this time, for those of us with the yellow energy really dominant, it feels like we have to put things in perspective so that we can actually be open to new ideas, whereas if we're constantly living and reliving our old way of being, we can't see the new potential. And so some of you in yellow have had to get to this place of being able to accept change because everything that you thought you knew just dissolved right from under you, and you're just like, what happened? Okay, what am I supposed to do? Well, trust yourself and trust that the universe did this for a reason, and it's to free you to do what you're meant to do, whatever that is on a personal level. Your contribution to humanity, to life, and all creation. Yeah. The heart chakra. Those of you attracted to this stone is green aventurine. You are the healers and the beers in the group. That means that you hold the vision for what you want, but are often very far away from that because you are still in your process, you are still doing the work. And my heart goes out to you because it is not easy work. Healing is something that, for the most part, a lot of us end up delaying until something major happens that we can't ignore and life forces us to take care of it. If you have been blessed with enough awareness to not go down that route, you are now stepping into your own ability to guide others through the same stuff. And so many of you healers who are on the other end of the spectrum, who have already gone through your work, are now beginning to mentor those who are just starting. And that's what's been happening in my own life. And you'll notice some of the crystals I wear most are green and yellow. And this is the two colors I've been most working with in the last 6-7 months. So for me, these two messages coincide. And this is, it's very important that the healers begin to see themselves also as teachers, because you've done it. You have the experience. Not all experience that you've had will apply to everyone, but there's a good chance that if you share your message, and this goes for those who are expressing and attracted to turquoise as well, if you share your message of your life, chances are someone will thank you for showing the way, because every life is unique and has a lesson to help another. It's not to say that we're all needing help. It's to say that it is very rare that when you don't give of yourself of the heart, that it won't hit someone some way. And if you can do it from a space of not expecting anything in return and just kind of putting it out there, and if it helps, great, and if not, oh well, at least you did that exercise for yourself, for expressing yourself and your truth, then you'll be quite surprised at the response. It may not come in a way it may not be what you expect. Sometimes you'll get challenged and something will trigger you, and that is the whole point of doing it right there. Because if you hadn't done it, the challenge wouldn't have occurred and you wouldn't have learned whatever it was that was for. So one thing goes after another, and with the throat chakra and all the work that the blue energy people do, and this is really turquoise, but blue is pretty strongly associated with throat. It feels like we're getting to that point now where you can actually speak up for yourself, but you need to actually commit to truth. Because if you speak falsehoods, then your throat chakra shuts down. And anything that you do say that is true will be tainted by the untruths that you've spoken before. It can be healed, but the way to heal it is with truth. And those of you who are saying, oh, but truth is relative, you can feel it. There's a difference between not being authentic and not. There is relative truth, but there's also ultimate truth. And those of us that feel it know it. And those of us that don't, well, they keep living in their illusions, and that's where they need to be at that point. No judgment, right? So, that said, those of you who are attracted to the very blue lapis lazuli, it actually represents the third eye. So traditionally indigo. Holding the vision for what you want does not mean holding it for a future perfect time that you can act on. It means holding a vision for what you want in your life now. It means believing that it is there for you in the moment. And so a lot of you that are just getting into the point where you're beginning to see a vision of what you want to achieve, or your abilities in your third eye are growing and you're getting bombarded with all this extra information, it might feel really intense, or it might feel sad or overwhelming depending on what it is that you're exposed to. Know that you can control and calibrate your vision with focus. So it feels as if those of you who are experiencing that overload, you need to ground. Put your feet on the earth. Do some grounding meditation. If you don't know what that is, imagine yourself a tree. Bring your roots down deep as you can. Hug the core of the earth. Raise your energy up into the highest point you can imagine. The central sun, the universal sun, the black hole in the center of the galaxy, if you can. Establishing your divine presence on earth. By doing that, you can begin to let go of everything that isn't relevant to your mission, or isn't relevant to the moment and what you are serving in that moment. The importance of doing that is the difference between achieving heaven on earth now and constantly chasing this idea. So those of you that know heaven on earth is already here, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that are still thinking of it as something outside of yourself, on some perfect date, everything will feel perfect again. No, it's not exactly that. It's a vibration. It's a way of being. It's a consciousness. It's like being in a good mood, but learning how to keep that good mood forever. And it doesn't matter what happens, you trust. You have infinite trust, infinite love for your life. And it doesn't matter what it brings, because you trust. And so I guess that's what it means to really have faith. I didn't think that, that's what it was, because I was like pretty scared of trusting the universe about 5-6 years ago. But hey, gotta start somewhere, right? Really, it feels like it is the beginning of, and already the establishment of, the new way of being. It's that many are still in disbelief that we're here, that it's happened. So drop the disbelief, Go with your feelings. Don't stay in the mire of what's dissolving. Reach through that. Break through like Phoenix rising and see the new perspective. Yeah. And that brings us to amethyst. Crown chakra. Oneness. Keywords for those that feel attracted to amethyst: freedom, equality, and justice. The Aquarian age, the new way of being, divine template. Connecting all of us, coming online to all that is. Yeah. It is the it is the beginning and the end of everything. You can pick and choose what you want to keep. So mind your thoughts. Mind your awareness. Notice where you are in the now moment. Are you present? That's why present is presence. Is a present. And presence is a present. Alright. I think you guys get my point here. But thank you very much for your time. I hope that this was helpful for you at all. And if it was, please leave a comment, a like, or subscribe. You can also find me on Facebook at Reiki Readings Rebirth or at www.reikireadingsrebirth.com. I do offer readings and other Reiki services online as well as in person. If you do want to check those out, you can go to that website. All the services are there. If you have any questions at all, feel free to get in touch with me through my Facebook page. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Mabon and happy equinox. For those of you who are experiencing spring, happy spring. And for those of you on the northern hemispheres, happy fall. Get your sun out while you can. Winter's coming.